Hey, let me take a drink of water really quickly. Honestly, I probably should have drinking that before I made this clip, but I'm tired. I don't really care. I've had some thoughts on my head for a long time, and I don't know. With how everything's been going on the web and throughout YouTube, just YouTube itself recently, I've been thinking more and more about these same ideas. And I don't know exactly what it was, but something tonight kind of drove me to write out what I was thinking in a format that I think makes sense. I don't know. It's really just like me open-minding stream of consciousness, setting it out there. So I wrote it out, and I feel like it's important enough to record it and talk about it, so I'm recording it. I'm going to read it out, and then I'm going to go. And you can go about on your own through the rest of the internet watching memes or making song covers or browsing Tumblr. I don't know. I don't care. You do what you want. So, here's what I've been thinking. I know my YouTube channel is nothing more than a small channel with minimal subscribers, and that the content I create is usually low effort and of no culture. But I have broader ideas than the things you see here on this channel. I should probably give some background. In truth, while you may be able to go to my website, while you may be able to go to my YouTube channel, you can view that I have created the channel on the 11th of July 2013. I've been a user of the site for many, many more years than that. I've known about the site since 2007, but I've really been, using it since like early 2009. I've been here for a long time. And because I've seen the rise and fall of all sorts of channels, whether it be the style of drama channels today, or of now ancient content creators like Ray William Johnson, and of the style of content created by the common content creator themselves. Remember when everyone used to make YTPs? And now everyone vlogs. I've seen the site shift from being truly a place to, as one of YouTube's old models used to go, broadcast yourself. I've seen the site shift from being a message of broadcasting yourself to becoming the same thing, but with exceptions, of course. I've seen the users of the site grow increasingly aggravated at the state of the platform itself, moving and shifting to hold YouTube accountable for the problems it creates, but eventually complying with YouTube for whatever reason. For the rest of this, I will call the community around sites like YouTube and many other social media platforms the people. In recent times, we can see that there is a growing divide between the people and their creations, the sites. To me, there is a very clear culture shift slowly happening to everything online. The problem is oversaturation. Like with all good things, once you experience some of it, you will want to experience more of it. And of course, why not? I mean, your friend just recently saw this great video on YouTube and they want to share it to you. So you decide to watch it by browsing the link, and by the time you get around to watching it, the comment section on the video is full of completely unrelated topics or things that really shouldn't be there. We've all seen an instructions unclear dick stuck in ceiling fan comment, whether it be on Facebook or Reddit or heckin' MySpace way back in the day. Or we've all seen a channel called 10,000 subscribers and no videos that's always begging for attention. It's human nature to flock together, even in places that originally supported abandoning that same crowd it cultivates today. And as more people continue to use arguably the best and worst, depending on who you ask, video sharing platform on the entire web, the bigger and greater kinds of people are attracted to these sites. I'm talking about the big guys. I'm talking about the companies that strike up deals with your favorite little websites. I'm talking about the big influencers. These guys have been here long before the web, but it's unclear whether or not they will stay afterwards. And as more people continue to use social media, the more normified the media on said social media becomes. It's inevitable. It's always going to happen no matter what. But because of this, the best thing the sites can do is to partner with the media. I mean, it only makes sense, right? Imagine it, though. Partnering with a media outlet will let you earn tons of profitable money, and it even helps your new partner to create easily accessible and digestible content for your platform. But doing so also raises the questions of ethics. I mean, why did you create this platform of your own in the first place? You did it because it was either something fun to do, or you did it because it was a way for you to broadcast your message not to anything, not to some corporation media outlet broadcasting service, but so you could broadcast your message to anyone, to any person, any real single person on any corner of the globe to interact with you as a human with culture, with soul. I mean, in many ways, I see the internet as not the greatest library of knowledge and information in history, despite these times being called the information age, but more like a modern-day jazz scene, with everyone improvising and riffing on others' original creations through the mimetic culture of social media or through the now ancient days of, GeoCities, where everyone had a homepage that was always in construction. It doesn't matter. There has always been this digital information jazz that is cultivated through webpage after webpage. And I use the word cultivate because it reminds me of the word culture. It reminds me of the cultures in yogurts. They're all too small and insignificant to be seen by our naked eyes because, in a way, they are similar to our presence on the web. We, in this situation, are like the media outlets from earlier. Our cells have no conscious thought of their own, but they all conglomerate together to form a single entity, and a powerful one at that. The cells on their own represent a single entity on the web, the user, the content creator, the blogger, the whatever you want to call it. That's us. And we exist on our own, independent from the mass-celled organisms out there, independent from the media corporations, even if our kind are the ones that make it up. And if it weren't for us, there would be no internet culture of today. If it weren't for us engaging in our own cultivated culture and conversations, we would never attract the attention of media outlets and corporations to the web. I mean, after all, the web would be just a bunch of computer servers. You can try this experiment yourself at home to kind of see what I mean, and to kind of get a first-hand experience. Take an oil painting kit. Nah. Take a crayon. No. Take a colored pencil. No. A single ordinary number 2 pencil and create the best or worst work of art you've ever made. Now do nothing with it. Do you notice that no one else cares about it? It's because no one knows it's there. I mean, it seems obvious, but think about it. Now, talk about it to other people. Talk about your art that you've made a lot. Talk about it everywhere you go. Talk about your art to the point where you get pure annoyance in return from everyone you know. But eventually someone will notice this, and they'll take interest in your simple work of art. And maybe your actions are so inspiring they will go on to make their art. And they'll attract someone. And this process will continue until everyone has made their art and it has ruined the meaning of the art in the first place. You made it originally because you wanted to be different than everyone else in the world. But that is a heavily inspiring action. And now you've inspired everyone to make their art, and now no one is different from one another. This process of attention and action has happened throughout the history of everything. If you look long enough, you'll notice. It has happened with the cells from earlier, and now we multi-celled humans exist because of it. It has happened in our governments, where the U.S. eventually declared its independence from its mother country and went on to create its constitution. That country eventually went on to inspire other nations to adopt their own constitutions and republics. And the U.S. was inspired by the Roman republics of yesteryear in the first place. The irony of it all, the cycle of it all. And perhaps such an idea has inspired me too because of what I've been thinking about. Perhaps I'm stuck in the same cycle that seems to perpetuate everything. If you look long enough, you'll notice. And I think now, or in the near future, would be the appropriate time for users of the internet to create their own constitution of some sort of method for the web. In whatever way, I can't imagine. Through what methods, I can't imagine. But I know that it needs to be done. And I know that there needs to be a clear message of the people from the people, whether it be that we have importance or preference or maybe even access to the things we created in the first place, but the message needs to be created. Some might call it a call of arms. Some might call it a stance, a message, an action, an uprising, a revolution, a boycott. You know, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to call it, it needs to happen. We need to have a clear message of the people, from the people, of the web. Not from some corporation acting as our representative, dictating the things we like and do. Well, thanks for spending your time checking out my thoughts, even though I seem to be a tiny cell on the giant, what's the word? Food web. That is the web. Yeah, thanks for just like listening to me. Even though it probably doesn't matter, and you know, my message is just gonna be one small recording sitting on a giant server, rather than being something that actually inspires people to think about the web itself today and, like, you know, stand up against it. I don't know, it's just like, these days you see more and more people try to, or not people, these days you see more and more, like, big groups trying to control things on the internet because they feel like it's valid for them too. I mean, look at Tumblr and their staff trying to censor a lot of the content that's created on it. Or look at YouTube's newer policies where profanity in videos is like heavily disregarded and like no one wants to look at that anymore. Or at least no one in the staff. Or I mean, look at the European Union where they're trying to censor and ban hecking memes. You know, they're trying to make it illegal for you to shitpost. Does none of this censorship seem like invalid to them? Does none of this censorship seem to like not make sense to them or anything? I don't know. It's just been something I've been thinking about a lot. The fact that like there's been this disconnect between the groups that provide things for the people on the internet and the people on the internet. And eventually it's gonna create something. It's already creating just minor tensions, but that might eventually escalate into something that's gonna be, you know, a serious problem, whether it be in my lifetime, the rest of it, or yours. I don't know, it's just been something I'm thinking about. So, yeah, I've now passed the 13-minute mark on my rambling, so I think I'm gonna go. Again, thanks for listening, and thanks for caring about this at all, even though it probably doesn't mean much, and heck, maybe you don't even know I'm thanking you, because by this point you've just clicked off this and went on with whatever you're doing. But to those that are still here, and to those that have stayed, thanks. It means a lot. Maybe it's just because I have, like, an insatiable ego, and I need the attention or something. But it means a lot to me. So, yeah, now to stop being philosophical and, like, really open-minded, I guess. Or it's probably not even really open-minded. Now to go on to memes. So, yeah, and here come that boy. Woohoo! Yeah, now to go on with our daily lives on the internet. Bye.